Hello again, I'm Tripp Rogers, and this is Tripp's Take. All right, we're going to talk sports on this edition of Tripp's Take. First of all, the New York Yankees, Juan Soto, not a Yankee anymore, signs with the New York Mets. Now, realistically, as a Yankee fan, I did not think the Yankees would re-sign Juan Soto. He costs too much money, and I don't know if he is worth that money. I really don't. The Mets are paying an absurd amount. The Yankees came in with the same absurd amount. And Ed Soto said his parents were dissed and whatever. Listen, would I like to have had him in the lineup? Yeah. But, I mean, the Yankees did not do well, and the Yankees have a lot of holes. So instead of giving him $765 million over 15 years, they can then spend it more judiciously. Is that a word? Yeah, judiciously. And fill more of their holes. Secondly, they can move Aaron Judge to right field, out of center field. I think that saves a little wear and tear on Judge, who undoubtedly is the Yankees leader. He is the captain of the Yankees, after all. And it opens up center field as some possibilities. I think the other part of this is it gives them the chance to get some other pieces. And one of those pieces could be Pete Alonso to play first base, who, of course, was with the Mets. Now, the Mets want to re-sign Alonso, but I think the Yankees could go and get Alonso, and I think it would help them tremendously. Soto now goes to the Mets, and the Mets, Steve Cohen, has made it clear he's not going to be outspent, but is it going to be a winning combination with Soto? Now, I know Soto has won a World Series. That was in Washington with the Nationals, and I think he's not, I think in some ways, it's the Alex Rodriguez situation because he's going to be the guy. He's making top dollar. And the problem is, I don't know if he's going to justify that policy or that amount of money and if he can fill that role. A-Rod was much better on the Yankees after signing that monster contract with Texas because Texas didn't build around him. The Mets are going to build around Soto, but still, he's going to be the guy. And if the Mets fail, it's going to come on Juan Soto. New York's not the place you want to fail. Just say it. That part is true. All right, move on to the other big sports story this week. Bill Belichick back in the coaching ranks in college. I think a lot of people are surprised by this move, but according to what I have read, Belichick was very disheartened. There were 8 openings last year. 7 if you discount New England, because obviously he's not going to go back to the team that let him go. He only got one real interview, and that was with Atlanta. And Atlanta went in another direction. I wonder if Belichick is a little disillusioned and wants to try something new. Now, listen, he has been great, a media darling this year on television, and he's been very funny. He's been very good. But I think Belichick watched his father coach in college. You know, Belichick's only coached in the pros. Never gone to college. But college nowadays is much like the pros. I mean, you're paying kids NIL money. You know, he talked the other day on the Pat McAfee show about what he would do if he was running a college program. The other part of this is his son wants to be a head coach. And I kind of wonder if he's going to go with him to North Carolina and he would be the guy to succeed him. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch next year, Bill Belichick coaching in college. And again, it gets some headlines, and he replaces a legend in Mac Brown, but he's got to do something to justify hiring him. And he's only got a 5-year, I think it's a 3-year deal, maybe a 2-year option or whatever. But still, Bill Belichick at the end of the contract will be 76. You know, could this be he's going to coach 1 year in college and then he'll, inflate, he'll go back to the NFL because remember, he's within 14 wins of the all-time win record, and I think he wants that, Don Shula's mark. But the other side of it is maybe he's okay with being number 2 and coaching in college and enjoying that. We'll see what happens. He did have a year off from the pressure cooker, and maybe he'll find he enjoys that. And I'm going to resist making the cracks about his girlfriend will be there, blah, 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 even though he's just go to North Carolina. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to stay away. I'm going to be good this holiday season. Speaking of the holiday season, you know, it's kind of interesting because we're in that dead zone time, I guess you would say, because, you know, there's certain shows we watch and we've watched all of them. We actually have watched all the Blue Bloods. Final episode of Blue Bloods is coming up tomorrow night. That's the December 13th, and that'll be the last Blue Bloods. And I'm looking forward to it. It was a great show, though. I do recommend, and it would be a streaming option. The other part of it is that, you know, we basically caught up with all of our regular shows that we watch. So we are looking forward to January coming because The Rookie will be back and Will Trent. Those are two great shows on ABC. But I say this because we decided, I just went looking for something the other night, and we started watching White Christmas, a classic movie, if you have not seen it, starring Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye, and Rosemary Clooney. The thing about it is, and Sandy pointed this out, Bing was 51 when he made this movie, and Rosemary Clooney was 26. And they looked compatible in terms of age, but that's a big age gap. But it's Bing, and Bing is awesome, and that movie is awesome. I do recommend it to you. It's a holiday favorite. Speaking of movies, real quick, I don't think I've talked about it. Red One, The Rock, Chris Evans. What could go wrong, right? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. J.K. Simmons plays Santa Claus. It's a decent movie. It's okay. I mean, I judge movies on, you know, whether they hold my attention and whether I can stay awake, especially if you're in recliner seats. Fell asleep in the middle of it. So you can, you know, read into that what you'd like to. Okay. And that is Tripp's Take for December the 12th, 2024. If you got a comment or question, please feel free. You can email me, trippstake@gmail.com. We're getting into the playoff time for the fantasy season, and the Sultans are hard at work. The Hall of Famer Mike Sheck and yours truly. You'll find us the same places you find this podcast. That's Spotify for podcasters and YouTube. Just search for the Fantasy Sultans. If you like the music of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, give a listen to WTRSradio.com. I thank you for joining me, and I will be back again next week with another edition of Tripp's Take. For now, I'm Tripp Rogers. Make it a great one.